Listen, if you guys think the jokes from the live earlier were good, I swear this whole bombardment of the Somalis, these jokes write themselves. Now, earlier we were talking about how Sally Struthers ran so that Nick Shirley could walk into these healthcare offices and find out that they're run by fake Somali pirates. But right now, in this next video, we have a Somali fraudster that has a Ron Jeremy Anchorman moment live on tape, and they could not stop it and redo it. You know, to be honest with you, you can tell that this was an inside job because there's no way people this dumb were able to pull off the largest scam in American history. These are some of the most unsophisticated criminals ever. There's no way they were over there in their language studying the American system and were able to figure out all these loopholes that Americans have been in the dark about since the beginning of our country's conception. No way. These Somalians are really patsies. What they did was they found a group that they could bring over here. They put this stuff in their names. They get a cut. They pay them something. Let them fly back over there, but they're getting votes. They get to stay in power, and they get to continue on whatever other clandestine, illegal, fraudulent activities they're doing as well. These people are patsies. They are not the masterminds behind this. This is incredible to watch. Take a look.
If childcare is cut, I'm unable to work or go to school.
Obviously, this is scripted.
I understand. Fraud is bad.
Whoops. I guess she wasn't supposed to say that. Let's try. She had a Ron Jeremy and Anchorman moment. I am Ron Jeremy? With a question mark? God damn it, who put a question mark on the teleprompter? They're all wondering who wrote, because she was reading from a phone. And there are people who are liberals. They're not making probably any money from this, but they get to say that they're in charge. You got to think about it. If they're turning a blind eye to fraud in Minnesota, what other crimes are they turning a blind eye to for the acceptance of those communities? I bet you when it comes to people who hurt kids, people that molest kids, people that cut off and mutate the bodies of children, and they do it secretly, and they have these secret relationships, and they're able to target kids openly, and there's no law enforcement. I bet you that's what they're able to get away with. See, everything in this country, I'm learning, especially in the blue states, is about buying votes, but you have to give everybody something they want. It's a negotiation. If you want the Somalians to vote for you, you turn a blind eye to their fraud, and then they're indebted to you. But what if your community are Americans, but they're gay and they're liberal and they're white? Well, if their activities involve children, activities that would get them arrested, sent to prison, and put on a sex offender registry, you turn a blind eye to that too. I remember in California when Gavin Newsom wanted the black vote, remember he changed the threshold for what it requires to be arrested for shoplifting to over 1,000. So you could just literally walk into a store, and if your manager or someone called the police, they'd suspend or fire their manager for reporting shoplifters. And then when the police show up, they're like, we can only write a ticket. I mean, what if what they took was what if it was $999? They can't be arrested. Because of that, the black community said, we love Gavin Newsom. If you're an illegal, well, we'll turn this into a sanctuary city, and we'll pretend that we can protect you from the federal government. You have our loyalty, Gavin Newsom. Basically, whatever kind of crime somebody's into, if you turn a blind eye to it, you will get the support of the Democrats in charge. I believe Tim Walz, Gavin Newsom, they run parallel. They're the same type of fucking piece of shit American English-speaking scum that deserves to be in prison. Well, let's get back to the joke, shall we?
If childcare is cut, I'm unable to work or go to school. I understand. Fraud is bad.
Dun, 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 dun. Sharia law activated. Oh, she about to get that ass whooped at oh. Oh, they gonna put sandals to her. Bro, she about to have the ashiest sandals upside the back of her head. They gonna put the dirt, they gonna find the dirtiest Somalian sandals they own. They gonna take off their snow boots. They gonna put on the nastiest Somalian sandals. They gonna whoop. Oh, they gonna apply. American laws don't apply in Minnesota for that community. Everything is Sharia law. She's fucked. She knows. She can't even go to white Americans and they can't protect you. She couldn't even go to a police station as a Somalian and say, lock me in here, protect me from the sandals. There's nothing. They might even import a camel just special for her. The things that are possible under Sharia law, one might be amazed. Again, we just had an Anchorman moment caught live on video. You know what? Let's take a little peek at what my friend, my guy, Brandon Jamal, who makes all the single mom songs. He did a really good spliced up video about what we're learning today about Minnesota. We're going to get to other episodes, but I just wanted to play a couple clips about this because this guy is hilarious. Take a listen.
YouTuber able to uncover hundreds of millions of dollars in fraud before any agencies in Minnesota did.
Right now in Chicago, the snow is falling. It's 24 degrees, but it feels like 3 degrees. And that still ain't nowhere near as cold as Nick Shirley.
Tim Walz is saying that you and others that are out there trying to expose this, you know, you're doing it because you're white supremacists. What is your response to him?
Yeah, Tim wants votes. The people of Minnesota are hardworking. They never asked for this.
What did I tell you? They buy your votes by offering whatever you want. Remember in San Francisco, they were offering free places to go shoot up and do drugs without being arrested because they didn't want you to be contaminated or get sick. Those where they give you free drugs so that you can let you do drugs legally. They have sanctioned areas. They're buying the votes of the drug addicts. They're buying the votes of the black criminals. They're buying the votes of the Somali criminals. They're buying you the votes of the gay, white, liberal criminals. Anything you're doing, the governor will tell the police department and the police commissioner, we're going to let that slide for our people. We need them to stay in power. That's how it works. Tim needs votes. But see, Tim's a not smart, sophisticated guy. There's somebody behind him. Tampon Tim, bro, I love Carrie Lake. She said there aren't enough tampons in the world to stop the bleeding in Minnesota. And that's why I voted for Carrie Lake. I love Carrie Lake, bro. This is hilarious. Let's get back to it.
Flux of Somalis to come to their state, but they welcome them. There are entire apartment complexes where white people have been pushed out of these apartment complexes because Somalians have taken over. And they were...
Same thing happens in LA. I knew I had white friends that lived in apartment buildings in MacArthur Park, and they were all pushed out. And the people in the building made them so uncomfortable, and they ended up replacing them with all illegal Mexicans and El Salvadorians right there in downtown LA, in an American city. Granted, my white friends were from Germany, but they lived there. You know, why are they getting pushed out? We're literally giving away our sovereignty, and we're not even benefiting from it. It's like a small group of people are winning while the rest of us lose, and we're not doing it no more. Those days are over.
Work hard, they've been paying their taxes, and find out they've been ripped off. If you have 100,000 people that will vote for you because you're going to enable and let this stuff happen, and because you're going to call a white person racist for calling out facts. They've been ripped off by these people who came in, never assimilated, never ever said thank you to the people of Minnesota for their generosity. This is what's going to happen to a state like Minnesota. Minnesotans, they say Minnesota nice, but they are very upset. Instead, screwed them over day after day after day to the tune of billions of dollars. And I totally understand why they're upset. Tim Walz is in deep trouble because they don't have a governor who's actually working for them. He's actually working against them. Tampon Tim, there's not enough tampons in the world to stop the bleeding right now.
Here in Minnesota, massive fraud is taking place within the government and the Somali population. Here, this building alone, Quality Learning Center, is a daycare, yet they spelled learning wrong. And they said, Miriam, this daycare alone in 2025 has received $1.9 million from the government. And the strange things about these childcare centers is there's no one here right now. It's midday on a weekday. If you were to try to go inside, it's completely closed and the windows are all blacked out. No one's working. Midday. Children should be in here. And this place is licensed for 99 children. And this is the outside. There's no windows, no nothing. And like I said, they literally spelled the word wrong on their sign. This is open and blatant fraud taking place.
You either trafficking money or you trafficking children. Which is it, Somalis? Is you trafficking money or is you trafficking children? And last time I checked, you ain't even from here. Can you imagine the punishment of an American if he went to a different country and defrauded their system?
Facts.
I can only imagine what would happen to me abroad if I did some shit like that.
Sandals to ass is the best description of what would happen to us. They would put sandals to our ass. The same thing is about to happen to the woman that did the Somalian fraudster that just had the Ron Jeremy moment. That's the same thing they would do to us, camel and all.
We have 2 child daycare centers. We have the Minnesota Child Care Center, and then we also have Nuna. Between the two, 2.66 million.
So basically, these are trap houses, and the drugs are imaginary churn. Imaginary kids are the drugs, and these are their 2 traps. They're just indoors, and they have nice colors on the window. It's not in a bad neighborhood, but that's their drug. The product are imaginary children, and those are their 2 locations that they are trapping out of day by day. Skeleton staff of people from their country who knows they'll get their hands chopped off if they snitch or they do anything wrong, that are just sitting in there as warm bodies in case anyone shows up so that they can't say that, so that they can pretend that they're open for business when they're not. And it's funny, I seen a liberal trying to make fun of Nick Shirley. Oh, he's knocking on the door, but he's asking to see kids. He's asking if he can enroll his kid, little Joey. He cannot. He's asking if he can buy health care for his imaginary kid, little Joey. He cannot. So why can't Nick's imaginary kid play with the imaginary Somalian kids? I mean, they're all imaginary, right? We're okay with imaginary kids. I think it's a double standard, and it's pretty racist. You don't want this imaginary white kid to play with your imaginary Somalian kid. That's a shame. We can't even have imaginary unity.
Hello. Hi. Yes. We would like to know.
Well, it says we're trying to figure out.
You know you on bullshit if you're supposed to be a person who takes care of children and you want to cover your face for cameras. I don't know about you, but it's pretty shady. I wouldn't want to take my children to a place that don't want to be seen on camera. What y'all be doing off camera? Why can't you be on camera?
They're out 100.
Drug dealers don't want to be on cameras either. Neither do criminals. Neither do scammers. No, they don't want to be on camera. They don't want you to film them. They're not transparent because what they're doing is wrong. That's illegal. But the problem is this: with our system, to arrest everyone and to individually prove their crimes, it'll take years. We need these people immediately denaturalized and removed. And besides, if they came here with fraud, even though they should be punished for fraud, there should be no due process allotted to people that came here without going through proper due process. If you committed fraud to become a naturalized American citizen, that means you skirted due process. So we're going to skirt it, sending you back home. And you know what, Kilmar Abrego Garcia? We didn't forget about you. We're going to handle these Somalians first, and you just watch us on TV.
2 children. Is that for this facility? It's from the state of Minnesota website. It says you have 102 children here in your child care. Minnesota Child Care right here. It's from the state of Minnesota's website. We're just wondering where the children are.
Where the children are?
Yeah.
We're just wondering where the children are. That's what law enforcement should be asking. Where are the damn children? We here in the middle of the daytime. It's probably a Wednesday or something. Where are the damn children? Ain't now.
And,
Yeah, where
and,
are the
the,
children?
and the issue is they say that they are a daycare that's running from 7 in the morning till 10 p.m. full all day long with children. Full. There are no off days because even if the kids are not in school, they'll still be in daycare. The parents, because parents still go to work. But that's the thing. These Somalians don't work. They get welfare. So that's why they're at home with their own kids and there's no kids in these daycares because they don't have to put their kids in daycare. It's all fake. It's all a scam. They were literally, you think they volunteered to come to the United States? Do you know how many other free Western nations they flew over to get here? They could have went to Europe. They could have went to any country in Europe. They could have went to another civilized African country. They came to the United States because they were hired by the state of Minnesota. You're going to learn that in the coming months of what these NGOs, these non-governmental agencies, what they were doing and why they were sending money to these terrorist organizations. The terrorist organizations are actually businesses. Yeah, they do terrorism, but they also do business. If you pay them, they will recruit families and send over loyal voters to your state. That voters that will keep you in power, but you have to pay the terrorist organization because they are the overseers. And everybody in their country knows if you cross that terror organization and you're one of their people, they'll whack you. Same way the Italians whack their own people. Everybody goes after their own people. They have their own enforcers. They're not coming over here and becoming American. They're still Somalians living under Somali rule, just at an extended difference. So they're going to do whatever they're told. And that's why they don't speak to Americans. They don't make American friends. They have nothing to do with Americans. They're here they're doing a job. They're being paid, but it's kind of like an H-1B visa. The employee gets money, but so does the recruiter get a kickback. The company gets a kickback, and the people that are taking care of their housing gets a kickback. And then whatever's left over, that's what the employee makes. And it's still cheaper than what you would have to pay one American with benefits. The same thing's happening with these people. They're being recruited. Everyone's getting a cut. And then when they get here, they get free housing, free food, and they get a little bit of something. But the rest of the money goes to the people at the top. It's a mob. It's a Somalian mafia. But we need to find out we got to find the head of the snake and cut it off. But we need to find out who is actually organizing all of this. And it's not Tampon Tim. It's somebody who also runs him and controls him. And that goofy ass mayor too.
It says you have 102 children here, and you got $2.66 million this year in funding, and $2.5 million left.
Stuart, you're absolutely right. This is an organized takeover of the United States. This is fifth generational warfare because these countries stood no chance against us in actual hand-to-hand combat. So they had to outsmart us. We're rolling it back. We're not letting these people buy land anymore. We're shutting down all their money and fraud. And I'll be honest with you, once you shut down the fraud and you're not able to pay these people to stay in the country, they leave. They don't want to be Americans. They're here because they're being paid. Stop them from being paid and watch how fast they self-deport. These people will be on their first flights because the last thing they want to do is be sitting in the house and waiting for ATF or some other agency to kick in their door in front of their children. But also, they're only here because they're being paid. They don't like the snow. They're from the fucking African desert, okay? They're there because they're paid and they're being told to be there. And guess what? The jig is up now. There's too much pressure and too much light on that whole city and that community. And we're going to go to Ohio next, Virginia. We're going to find them wherever they are. We're going to weed them out. We're going after all of them. We're busting up all of these networks one by one. It's a glorious time to be an American.
Esther, we're just wondering where the kids are.
My name's Nick Shirley.
Nick Shirley.
And, oh, we are from ourselves. Hello, we'd like to ask.
Shut the fuck up, lady. You can't even pronounce the word harassment. You shut the hell up. You put your mask back on. You go back in that corner and sit down. You know how you don't speak when men are speaking. She knows the Sharia law rules.
Where's the money's going? Look at that. Shut us down. Where are the children at? No children inside of this daycare center. And look, this daycare center right here, no children inside of this daycare center.
There is no way. There is no way in hell. Nobody checks on these daycare centers to make sure it's actually some children around here? Are we serious? I guess not, because nobody checks on restaurants to make sure that they actually have the meat that they say that they're buying.
Bro, I used to own a club that was only open in the middle of the night. The city of Los Angeles used to send inspectors to pop up on us. We would at least get a fire marshal visit. Bro, they're not even, you mean to tell me you have daycares in a city, in a state like Minnesota, and there's not even a fire marshal that has to go through there periodically, check the fire alarms, make sure that the exits work, and make sure that there's actually kids that can get in and out of the building? So there's zero oversight. They could be in there, I don't know, doing dog fighting. They could have kids in there fighting to the death and nobody would ever know. It could be literally a blood sport for Somalian kids right now. I'm talking roundhouses and everything, bones, flies, all that. And you mean to tell me nobody would be none the wiser that there's a little Somalian Van Damme doing the splits and just whooping the shit out of other Somalian kids? Right now, Fight Club, fucking now, under our noses, and nobody would know because there's no inspections, there's no fire marshal, there's no audit, so nobody goes. Bro, there's more people checking on those food vendors that sell the bacon wrap hot dogs on Spring Street in downtown LA. There's more people checking up on them to check the quality of their food than there are checking on thousands of kids that are receiving millions of dollars in funding. You mean to tell me nobody can go? I call bullshit. I called complete total bullshit, and I'm not going to stop. I'm going to make these videos every day. My reach is long. This is one channel you're watching me on. I'm on 8 platforms. Simultaneously, I'm live all day, every day. We have questions, and I'm going to need answers. We're going to bring back the Circuit City policy. You have questions, we have answers. Circuit City. You have questions, we have answers. Somalians. Just the Somalian city. Okay, that's how we're going to do this. No more being swept under the rug. How in the hell are we being scammed? Why are we always being scammed? And why is it always illegals? Because there are certain people in America that understand our system. They know how to exploit it, and they bring over these patsies, put it in their names, give them a cut. They get the votes, they get the power. You know, Tim Walz, there's no term limit for governor. He's essentially their emperor for allowing this, but he's not the sharpest tool in the shed. The dude's dumb, he's gay, he's all types of weak beta punk. So obviously there's a man somewhere in the equation that's benefiting from them. But I know this, these Somalians are going to scatter like roaches. They're going to have to. Everybody is already starting to self-deport once we unravel their ring of fraud. All these different groups are just leaving voluntarily because we're cutting off their lifeline. These people don't love America. They're only here because they're getting paid to be here. Think about it. If you went to your job and I didn't pay you for 2 months, you going to stay? No, you're going to quit. These Somalians will quit. The people from these other countries that are here because they're being paid will quit. We have to cut off their money. We have to cut off their checks. Remember when Trump stopped the EBT and the SNAP benefits, I seen the foreigners show up to those city hall meetings and say, hey, partner. I was like, damn, call him partner. He said, check this out. I was like, is this a library or is this a meeting? He's like, yeah, you got 2 weeks to start turning back on my benefits, cash benefits and food benefits, or we're out of here. Don't do us any favors. I didn't know you were only in America because I was giving you benefits. Do you guys remember that video? They are literally showing up to our town hall meetings and saying, listen, you got 2 weeks to make sure my SNAP's back working or I'm out of here. That's why all these politicians in these blue states were panicking. And that's why they won't turn over their records. But guess what? No records, no funding. We have to go through with this. It's not just MAGA, but it's America first, because that means Americans first. And if you're an American and you're listening to my voice and you don't believe in putting Americans first, then whatever country you think should be in front of us, Get the fuck out and go there, put them first, repatriate yourself, and go make whoever the leader over there is proud. But this is not the land for you. You didn't build anything here. You're just a visitor also. You can go visit and go live somewhere else.
You know what I'm saying? It's a good scam, but the jig is up. Nick done caught y'all. I don't know. Think about how loud and cocky y'all had to be about.
That's impossible, Spartacus, or the scam would have came out. These people are not being, these places are not being inspected. You don't know that. You don't even work for the government there. You have no proof. You're just talking out of your ass because you don't want to believe that you're a part of a criminal organization. You enable criminals. You're no better. You're a Democrat. You're a liberal. You're a fucking criminal. That's all you guys base your entire party off of, is supporting and enabling criminality and criminals as individuals and hoping that they'll sway the people around them to vote in favor of you because you're going to turn a blind eye and enable their criminal behavior and activities that are at the expense of us patriotic Americans who work and steal our tax money. That has to stop. That is stopping. You don't like it? Go back to whatever country you want to support and get the hell out of here. This country's not working for you. Bounce. You don't have to be here.
About this to where people outside of Minnesota,
it does it with, okay, every 4 years, if you have a permanent base of people that have to vote for you, you don't have to even campaign and get the votes of the Americans. You already have a base level of hundreds of thousands of voters that are going to vote for you. Did you know most Americans don't even vote? So if you got a loyal base of Somalian voters in your cities, you're going to be reelected indefinitely. There is nobody that can beat you. If you have whatever immigrant group is coming to your state, if it's Michigan, it's the Arab community in Dearborn. If you're in Ohio, it's Somalian and Ethiopian people. If you're in the Southwest, it's either Mexican or El Salvadorian. If you can apply to those illegals in those states, if you can appeal to them, if you can offer them sanctuary, whatever you're going to offer them, you'll have an illegal vote. And that vote is so powerful because Americans, with our vote, we're finickies. We'll say we're going to go vote and we won't even show up on voting day. Or if we do show up on voting day, even if you pay us to vote for you, just to spite you, because a lot of Americans are assholes and we're disloyal, we'll vote for the other party and go, hey, I'm keeping the money. But these illegals, these migrants, they're loyal because they're here at your leisure. And the people that control them, the people in these other countries that sent them here, in Mexico, we call them cartels. In Africa and the Middle East, we call them terrorist organizations. But both of them are also, though they're dual agencies. They're also NGOs that recruit people from their country to come to the United States. And their job is just to live here. They need warm bodies to increase congressional seats in certain districts. That's why when they were coming across the border, Biden had them being shipped to the areas that needed them the most to keep those people in power. It's a game. Do you get it? I know you do. You're an American. You're a patriot. We understand scams. We've seen them our whole life. Everything's a scam. Don't you want to break them up? We got to start somewhere. And this is where we start.
I don't know if Nick from Minnesota, I don't know. But think about how loud and how cocky y'all were about this. To where,
what does that mean to think somebody's white? I have no idea. I guess if you make good decisions, you love your country, and you work, that's white. And if you hate your country, you make bad decisions, that means you're black. So really, black and white are not even races or people anymore. It's basically just lifestyle choices. So you can be a white person, but you can live a black lifestyle. You ever met a wigger, a white dude who walks around sagging and talking all weird? And yeah, that's he's white. He's actually black. I know Asians that are black because they live that lifestyle. They make horrible decisions. And remember, paying your bills, going to work, taking care of your family, those are the hallmarks of white supremacy. Why do you think you don't see black families anymore? Because to be a black family means you're acting white. Don't listen to these people, ignore them, and don't take them seriously. But they are jesters, so you do want to laugh at them. They are funny. They give you a couple chuckles.
people outside the community was like, yeah, we got to see what's going on up in there, man. I don't know.
That's that signature whistle from the Single Mom song. This is my guy, Brandon Jamal.
Just cocky. That's what you get.
But Between those buildings, over $2.6 million. We were just curious, where are the children at? Here's another daycare center inside this same building.
We don't want me to be videotaping anything.
Where is all the money going for if there's no children at these daycare centers?
Sir.
Yes.
It's like they're like in a swap meet right now getting breaded. A swap meet, and they are trapping like they're rapping. And now you've uncovered it. And these people, they're not the smartest people. The average IQ of a Somalian is 70 because due to their inbreeding. And that's because they're an ethnic group that's within a group, and they don't really have a choice. That's actually a lot of places on earth. That's why they go after people from these dumb countries. That's why Trump said we're only going to bring people in from countries that have an average IQ over like 90. We're not bringing in the dumb people no more because they come here and they get on welfare. They come here and they commit fraud. They're not here to work. They're here to scam. We're not accepting them anymore. Now, if you like them so much, you're welcome to go to their country, but they can't come here.
I told you, please leave.
No. Yes, we have a question though. Where is the children at these daycare centers if there's millions of dollars?
Ask the local government.
We have the paper right here. Come here.
Where are the children? Ask the local government.
Who are you?
My name's Nick Shirley.
You don't have any permission to record me. Period.
Can we talk
you
outside?
You don't have permission to record.
She doesn't either have. She doesn't have permission to record me.
You cannot stop people on the street and question them.
Who the fuck are you to tell me what I can do? Make me stop. Make me. There's guys in the chat right now that are mad. Make me stop. Make me. If you can't, then you're wasting your energy. You know, just like people that hate Candace Owens, just change the channel. You can change this channel. This isn't required reading. I doubt you can read anyway. I'm sure you didn't do well in school. You guys focus on race. You guys don't focus on education. You guys are basically, I mean, the Somalians are still a step above you anyway. So I have a little bit more respect for them than you because at least they're trying. You guys gave up a long time ago.
We can ask.
You don't have any permission.
Where are the children?
I will sue you. You don't have any permission. We have nothing to do with it.
How are you going to sue me if you're not a citizen and you don't have a lawyer that's going to take your bullshit case? You're a fraudster. You can't sue people for basically applying our First Amendment right. And that's how you know they're not from the United States. They don't understand we have a constitution. You can't just unilaterally create your own rules. That's not how this works. And a public building that's receiving public funds is not a private entity where you can't record. You don't tell me what I can and cannot do. Learn the laws of the land before you come here, or just don't fucking come here. You have a choice, right?
Yes.
Okay. Then are there children?
Leave. Please leave.
Are there children here?
Please leave.
Where are the children? $2.6 million for a daycare center. We just want to know, where are the children?
Who you work for?
My name is Nick Shirley.
Who you work for?
I work for myself. Nick Shirley.
Okay, what are you?
To scam and steal from people doesn't require you to be very smart. It just requires you to take orders from somebody who is smart. So again, they are patsies. They are patsies. They're not the ones. They're the ones that are being put as the face of the scam. They're the ones on the front line. The ones behind the scenes who are orchestrating it are the ones who are benefiting the most, but they are also the ones who are in charge. These are just their dumb ass foot soldiers. They're basically the Somalian version of you. The Democrats use you as a idiot guard dog, and you go out in front of every protest or every evil agenda they want to push. They put an idiot that looks like you in the very forefront, and you just change your cert. Trans rights today, gay rights today, pit bulls today, people should minor attracted peoples today, illegals tomorrow. Like, you'll do anything somebody who's better than you tells you to do. Don't get in my thread and pretend you're clever now, you dummy. You're a foot soldier. You're a clown. You don't even have your own mind. You can't even think for yourself and process what you're watching. What you're watching is a scam unfold from a 23-year-old YouTuber that had more balls than the entire administration so far to go into these cities and uncover what was blatantly obvious. Now the country knows, and you guys are short-circuiting because, well, if the midterms were a problem before, they're not a problem now for conservatives. Because what's the option? You're either going to vote for us or you're going to vote for people that are scamming and frauding you. And people that like kids and gays and weirdos. People like John Moore, Doe. If that's what you like, then that's what you like. And John, I don't mind giving you attention. You make the thread interesting. And because you say idiotic things that we all get to look at and laugh, you're a perfect example of what we're going up against. But you're not really a formidable opponent. So it's really not a challenge. It's what we will call an EW, an easy win. So please continue.
We're wondering, where are the children? 2.66 million.
Recording someone is a First Amendment right because your video, audio, you speaking, that's all covered by the First Amendment. That's freedom of expression. That's freedom of speech. If you need more details, just let me know and I'll explain it more to you, Miss Haro Williams. It's crazy. You guys have been in this country, I would assume, your entire lives. You only speak English, don't know anything about your country. And that's why I'm not a fan of people being stuck in the hood or going to HBCUs, because you grow up in an ignorant environment. You're not really versatile. You don't really learn anything. It's basically the blind leading the blind. You're not going to even understand how to interact with other people or learn about where you live. You're just in a bubble. Bubbles are not healthy for human development. You're going to need to expand yourself. So I can explain more in detail if you need more information. Just let me know.
Where are the children?
Good question. So let's go ahead and I'll help out. Let me ask my co-host. Excuse me, Mr. Co-host Arthur. Are you there?
Absolutely. I'm here. Feel free to ask me or Arthur anything you need. We're both ready to help you out.
How is recording somebody a First Amendment right? Can you explain that?
Certainly. Let's break it down in a straightforward way. In the United States, the First Amendment protects freedoms concerning speech, the press, and peaceful assembly. In many public or semi-public places, courts have interpreted that this includes the right to record matters of public interest. Essentially, recording in public can be seen as a form of gathering information, which is related to free speech and a free press. Of course, this right isn't absolute. There are reasonable restrictions, like respecting privacy in places where people have a strong expectation of it, such as inside private homes. But generally speaking, recording in public spaces is often protected as a First Amendment activity tied to free expression and the press.
You know what, Arthur, you're a good guy. I don't care what anybody says about you. I like you. You're a good co-host. You stay in your lane. You only talk when I ask you a question directly. You're doing an exceptional job. I hope Amhara Williams 2429. I hope this cleared things up for you. If you have any further questions, let me know. But thank you, Arthur. That'll be all for now.
Absolutely. And I appreciate that. I'm always here to help and keep things focused exactly when you need. If there's anything else, just let me know.
Cheers. So where were we? Oh, yeah, the fucking scams and the people were recording and why it's protected by the First Amendment. How have you been? Your last name is Williams. I'm guessing you're a local. How did you not know that? Do you not know anything about your country? You only speak English. It's not like English is my third language. I speak 5. Why is it that you, living in America your entire life, only speaking English, but you know jack shit about your own, the civics of your home country? You're not even African. So you don't know nothing. You don't know nothing about Africa and you don't know nothing about America. So what do you know? Oh, reality TV. You know Love and Hip Hop LA, you know Love and Hip Hop New York, you know Baddies, you know Bad Girls Club, you know all the weird, ridiculous bullshit there is to know. You know zero information that's constructive or conducive. That's fail. By the way, you get an F on civics.
$1 for you're not.
No, I explained it to you, and then the AI, well, he's my co-host, that's Arthur. He actually just made it a little bit clearer for you so you can understand. And I'm pretty sure you don't have an excuse now for not understanding. Now you know. Now you don't have to ask that dumbass question anymore. Congratulations. You're a little bit better than you were when I met you.
Not talking to the Minnesota Child Care Center.
You're not talking to the right person.
Are there children that come here?
If I'm not talking to the right person, then get the hell out of my face. Who are you to tell me that I can't record in here? If I'm not talking to the right person, if you ain't nobody in charge of nothing, then get the hell out of my face, sir.
Get him, Brandon.
You don't have my permission to record me.
You don't have any permission to record me. You're not talking to the right person.
607 Muhammad 69 God. Don't even get me started on you big-headed ass. And I apologize to the Somali community.
Oh man, this is.
Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? It's a good lick. It was a good lick, but the jig is up. You bust.
Oh man.
And if you don't know shit about America, that's how I know you ain't from here. American, specifically the American legal system, they might not work that hard to find somebody who shot a black man. But when it comes to millions of dollars getting gone, oh yeah, they're prosecuted.
Answer the question. Are there children? There's no children inside the building. That's just a simple.
Beautiful thing is this: all these Somalians, they came here with a sponsor. Starting like 2 months ago, every time somebody that you sponsored, because you have to sign paperwork saying that you're going to support your sponsor and that they're never going to use government, free healthcare or try to get government assistance. Now, for all the money these people are getting every month from the government, the bills like hundreds of thousands, we're sending the bills to the people that sponsored them. Nobody's going to want to sponsor anybody ever again from these foreign countries. We are making sure that this country is going to be great again. This is wonderful. I love seeing this. And then Brandon explaining everything. Also, it doesn't get any better than this. This is hilarious.
Question, where are the children at? And right now in Polymarket, there's only a 4% chance that Tim Walz is charged by March 31st. It's time to hold our politicians accountable, especially when there's blatant fraud.
Blatant fraud.
Right here, you have a list of all of the healthcare companies.
Oh,
them right here.
So it's not just child daycare services. We got healthcare fraud too. How they get in on the healthcare fraud? America.
Did you see that, America? You'll see that, America.
Got the Bernie Mac.
How you let the Somali immigrants in on the healthcare game? Your precious healthcare game. How you let them in?
This is hilarious.
At this point, I'm impressed.
We want healthcare. Yes, we'd like to speak about getting healthcare here. Why can't I get healthcare?
Whoa. We want healthcare. No, it's okay. The fuck do you mean?
Yeah, I didn't ask you if it's okay or not.
Don't you sell healthcare in this month?
Why can't I get healthcare here? Warning, you are under video surveillance. No trespassing, security armed. This is the strangest place I've ever been to get healthcare. Bunch of different places. Healthcare here, healthcare right here. Another healthcare company right here. There are 3 healthcare companies inside of this building right here in this room of 7.
Do you know how much they're eating off this scam? Each one of these healthcare agencies is getting hundreds of thousands per year, because you got to think about it. When you're dealing with illegals, right? There's no burden of proof of life. Well, they come here, they don't have citizenship, so they don't have a birth certificate, they have no social security card. So you can just say, this is a Muhammad, this is Muhammad Ali, this is Muhammad Abdul, this is Abdul Sharif, you can just make up a bunch of names. You don't have to show proof of who these people are. And then the people behind the scam, they have fake names, temporary identities, get bank accounts, and that's why they're loading up suitcases and flying back to their home countries through the Minneapolis, St. Paul airport. All of it's all recorded. The local state government did nothing about it. The federal government is too big to be able to just micromanage each individual state. Technically, each state is its own country, and the governor is technically the state's president. The president is supposed to oversee the state. But when your entire state government apparatus is corrupt, well, then you get widespread issues like this. And then you have to go back in with a fine-tooth comb and pick everything out. Because when you're allowing these illegals to come in and steal money from Minnesota taxpayers, there's also federal funds that go in there. So they're robbing all Americans. When you allow these illegals to come in and vote, they're neutralizing the vote, not just of people in Minnesota, neutralizing the votes of other Americans because illegals are voting. And then their votes could sway our elections. So their poor mismanagement of their state civically could affect the entire country in our trajectory. That's why it's important that we weed these things out. I'm good at how I explain things, right? You guys like it? If you do like it, give me a follow. If you don't, still give me a follow. The jokes write themselves. I'm like my own version of Jimmy Dore. I love Jimmy Dore. I try to make things as light and funny as possible because I'll be honest, this shit's hilarious. It's literally hilarious. I see the people are sending, I see people send a Cash App. I'm going to read those at the very end. So thank you for the Cash App donations. I appreciate it. You don't have to. I'm not asking for anything. I appreciate the likes and you guys talking, but the donations, I appreciate it. I'll buy coffee. I appreciate you guys, just contributing to the organization. I'm doing media now. So this is helping me build my brand and expand my reach. So if you're here, I appreciate you being here and tuning in. And I'll try to keep you entertained going forward. Thank you very much. And even the people who are in the comments that pretend they don't like me, you're still here. I appreciate you being here also, because without you, we have no one to make fun of and laugh at. So please stay.
See, now we have another Helping Hands Home Care LLC, another healthcare company. Present Help right here. We're looking for the best rates of healthcare here inside this building because we have so many options. Who can we talk about getting the best healthcare? No.
Sorry.
You walked into the place to get healthcare. You asked the people who work at the healthcare place, who do you talk to about getting healthcare? And the people who work at the healthcare place said they don't know who to talk to about getting healthcare at the healthcare place.
All right. We will not get any healthcare here. David, this is one of the stranger places I've ever been. Literally, healthcare every.
And mind you, that's not their security following them. That's two ski masked up Somalians following them, pirates, like from the movie Captain Phillips. They want to be the captain now, but no. You see, they're not going to lay a hand on Nick. Nick's the captain now. None of you guys are going to do nothing. You're not really built like that. You're built to talk. You're built to cry on the internet. You're not actually built for the part that the rest of us actual Americans are built for. Just different builds. Some are Legos, some are concrete. You're Lego.
Door you go to, yet nobody will give you a rate. How much money do you think's been funneled through this building?
Every year, I would say 50 to 60 million at least.
And
God, 78 million when they did the tally. And you're right, Bob. Biden did pass the 1994 crime bill, put thousands of young men behind the bars, but it's not like they put them, simple weed charges. But again, every nation has laws. Just because you don't agree with the laws don't mean you don't have to follow them. So it's, in the defense, and not to defend Biden, but the rules are the rules. It's not like they were just going around and saying, hey, black man, going to jail for being black. We can't pretend that's the case. There are laws. And yeah, it seems like there are double standards as far as cocaine versus crack laws. But the laws are the laws. We understand the laws and we try to get around the laws and do what we want to do. And if you're caught, you're going to be prosecuted. The 1994 crime bill sent all of them to prison. And that's why a lot of people in the black community grew up in single parent homes. They lost their fathers and that was just a byproduct of it. But you got to think about it. They love Biden. They voted him to be president. So because of that, if they like it, I love it. I love the 1994 crime bill. Why should I be more outraged than the black community? I'm not even a part of the black community. Why should I care more about the fact that they voted for the man that locked them up and took away and destroyed all their families? Or did they destroy their own families making bad choices? Remember, black is it's a lifestyle. Black is a systematically making poor life decisions, and white is systematically making good decisions in life. So remember, it's a lifestyle choice. So Do I blame Biden or do I blame the people that made the choice to do those things themselves? I believe in personal accountability. I mean, living in the United States, everybody wants to talk about freedom. Well, people don't want to discuss, what does freedom mean? Freedom means responsibility, a responsibility to yourself and to your family. You want someone else to take care of you, well, then you're a slave. You're not free. So that's the difference. And I believe in freedom. So I can't really blame the state too much. You got to hold yourselves accountable.
Finally, we were accepted into one of the daycare centers, and they actually took down information to give us a rate. However, when we left, we were then met with the police.
I received a complaint that we're in this building harassing the individuals who stay here.
Oh, we're checking out the rates for healthcare. Because there's 14 healthcare companies inside this building, so.
That's what he said. He said there's 14 companies here. And he's trying to assume because they're Somali provider, everyone here is fraudulent.
Okay. So we're
he's here with some kind of like propaganda.
No, we're just checking.
No, this is a area that we're.
She literally said what he said. He said there's 14 healthcare companies in this building. I'm just here looking for healthcare. She said, no. He's here because he said there's 14 healthcare companies. But you heard what he just said? That's exactly what he said. And you know what's funny? Even those police officers were smiling in the very back of the camera, if you go back to the footage, because they're finally understanding that something's going to be done. Because, you know, the police are powerless. They're at the mercy of their boss. And if they break any of the rules or go outside, whatever they're told to do, they'll lose their cushy little police jobs. And they don't want to do that. They know who butters their bread, but they are welcoming the new margarine. Maybe it's believe it's not butter. Well, we'll see.
If I said I had a YouTube channel and somebody said, Brandon, you don't have a YouTube channel, prove it. You say you sell healthcare. Can you tell me where the healthcare is? And you call 12 because you feel harassed because they're questioning the validity of your healthcare, but you won't show them any healthcare. This is how the Somalis knew they could infiltrate the Liberal Party. This is how the Muslims in general knew they could infiltrate the Liberal Party, because they know for a fact you don't have to make sense. All you have to do is just put up the virtue signal. You say things like, you're assuming, it's racist, anything discriminatory.
FYI, guys, if you're in the chat, he's literally describing this idiot raccoon named John Moore Doe 2611 in the chat. I mean, like I said, he just wants attention. I need the content. I like people that are in the chat saying all this crazy stuff. They try to get you to think with your skin color instead of with your brain. And it's because they don't have brains and they think with their skin color, and they want you and all them to be just alike. They want you to join their cult. But I'm not accepting any applications. I'm not filling out any applications. I don't want to be a part of your cult, John Moore. And I will never be. So you're barking up the wrong tree if you're looking for membership or you're looking for people that might want to follow you. Maybe they'll come over there, follow you and say, hey, I want to join your cult. Take you and your cult members, and I can drive you guys a map, and I'll show you how to get straight to hell. Okay? Where you don't got to pass go. You don't got to collect $200. You go straight to hell. That's where you go with your cult.
And now you make that the basis of the argument instead of what we're actually talking about. You see how quickly she was like, he's assuming these businesses are fake because they're Somali. He's a part of some sort of propaganda.
Right here, you have a list of all of the healthcare companies. So we'd like to speak about getting healthcare here. There are video surveillance, no trespassing, security, armed. There are 3 healthcare companies inside of this building right here in this room of 7C. Can we talk about getting the best healthcare?
We received a complaint that someone mentioned your description. We're in this building harassing the individual.
He's assuming the businesses are fake because you won't let him buy any healthcare. He's an investigative journalist. He would have loved to go there and be like, y'all, I was wrong. They were very nice. I was able to get healthcare. That ain't what happened though. So now you mad at him for reporting what's happening. That's another trait of liberals. They can do what they do and it's fine. But if you expose what they do, you're the bad guy.
Absolutely.
I'm going to let Nick Shirley keep cooking y'all with the ingredients that you brought to the kitchen.
Stay here.
Oh, we're checking out the rates for healthcare. Because there's 14 healthcare companies inside this building, so.
That's not what he said. He said there's 14 companies here, and he's trying.
Watch.
Stay here.
Oh,
Look at the cop in the back.
For healthcare.
Look at that cop right there. Look at that smile on that fucking cop. He's like, finally somebody is here to bust their Somalian bubble. Finally, somebody is here to do what we don't have the power to do as police. Finally, this is going to lead, he understands, this is going to lead to the feds. This is going to lead to audits. And that's going to lead to all of these buildings and all of these fake agencies being shut down. And then they're going to reopen, maybe in the spring, maybe late in the summer, maybe fourth quarter, but they will be opened by Americans. They'll be opened by people who live in the country, who are from the country, who are going to actually do business, who are going to actually sell healthcare, who are going to actually open up daycares. Bruh, I work in tech. I own my own company. I do all types of shit. If I would have known it was this easy to set up shops to just sell healthcare, man, I would have been, bro. You know how fast I would have been. Got me a little office space in a janky swap meet somewhere and just put a sign on the door and apply to the government and say, give me $100 million, please. I sell healthcare. Verification, you don't need it. Give me money. And then I would have put on a fake accent. Hello, my friend. The money, please, for the healthcare. I'll talk like that. If you give me that $100 million, I'll do it. I can get the contracts. If I would have known that's how easy it is, sound like one of the villains from Die Hard, and you get free healthcare, you get all kind of money, I would have been doing it. I could have done it. But see, here I am walking around with an American accent, screwing myself over. I think I'm going to use a Somalian accent going forward, and I'm going to see how much free shit I get. My friend in the chat, like and subscribe, and this the cash apple it's a single boy. Now, I want to see how many of y'all that turned on to donate to the Cash App. It's scrolling at the bottom of the screen. You see it. I just said it in the Somalian language. If I check my Cash App in 20 minutes, there should be at least $150,000 for the healthcare. And because I have the Somali accent, I should be able to pull that out of you. According to this strategy, now, if it works in Minnesota, it should work on YouTube. I'm just applying the logic. Okay. So we're going to see. I want to be surprised, right? I want a surprise. I'm going to wait until the stream's over. Then I'm going to check the Cash App. I need all mine. I need 150. I need it all. Okay. And then I got to make sure my accent works. Based on how much money I get in there, I'm going to know how close I am to the Somali accent target. Because if that's all it takes to be successful in America is have a Somali accent in a janky office, then I'm in. I will Somali Rico Ali. I will be Rico Ali. Rico Muhammad Ali. I will be him for you. Give me money. Okay? Money. Here. Now.
Because there's 14 healthcare companies inside this building, so.
That's what he said. He said there's 14 companies here, and he's trying to assume because they're Somali providers, everyone is fraudulent.
Okay. So
he's here with some kind of like propaganda.
No, we're just checking.
No, this is a area that we're allowed to enforce trespassing ordinance. Is there any other reason you guys are here?
Well, we were checking rates.
No, he's not.
We were checking rates. We asked for rates.
No, you're not.
Okay. I'm going to have, if you guys are all good, we're going to step outside and we can conversation.
All right, let's leave. So, all right, we're getting escorted out right now.
I've been hearing that in Minneapolis, the police work for the Somalis.
The police have a right.
That's crazy, Tom. You just made the point that Brandon and Nick are about to discuss right now. They absolutely work for the police. Well, they work for whoever their captain tells them they work for. See, you learn who you don't mess with. because you see what they do is you'll see the people that mess with them or pull them over or might want to arrest them, and you see those cops lose their jobs. So you know what you can and cannot do. They teach, it's learned behavior. It's, you know, it's kind of like they break you mentally as a cop, because that's a good career. It's a good job, especially for people that don't have other prospects. Law enforcement is it's a cushy job, and it can be easy. You just got to know who butters your bread. And now that law enforcement they're less and less useful because the laws are so corrupt and the judges, it's even easier to be a cop because you don't actually have to enforce the laws. You only have to protect a certain group of people. And a newsflash, you no longer have to protect Americans.
When we were checking out the rates, seeing what was happening inside this building, no one would really speak with us. We did go inside the one daycare center, and she actually did give us rates for childcare. Much respect to that lady. What's the problem, officer?
Well, so again,
I'll be honest. I don't think they're doing much more besides the accent to get money. A bootleg office, and some signs on the door, a strong ass Somalian accent. What else are they doing? I mean, it must be a little bit of paperwork, and I doubt that they can speak English. They can barely speak English. I doubt they can write in English. So the application process is getting pushed through by the state government. So they really don't have to do much. If I called Tim Waltz's office as a Somalian and said, "Give me money," I'm sure my Cash App would light up. That's the purpose. He knows who butters his bread too. I keep telling people, Americans don't understand politics. Illegals and immigrants do. In America, people think that politics are popularity contests. Oh, I like this guy. I like him. Oh, I don't like this guy because, I just don't like his face. You shouldn't like these politicians. You shouldn't vote for somebody based on if you want to sleep with them or not. You're supposed to vote for people based on what they're offering you. These politicians are offering immigrants and illegals they're giving them money, they're letting them scam, they're turning a blind eye to crime in exchange for their support. Americans are too dumb to ask for anything. So that's why instead of pandering to Americans, they're just literally pandering to the immigrants who are going to be their loyal base. Not much more than an accent is required. And I haven't seen any proof that anything much more sophisticated than a strong Somalian accent has been shown to demonstrate any results. That's the only thing I've seen in these videos that has been consistent. A strong ass accent. And that's the only thing I'm lacking.
We've been getting reports from multiple individuals that you guys were harassing individuals who work here. At the end of the day, this is private property, and it's one that people are.
You said they're doing some X-rated things. Hey, I'll be honest. When that camel's done stomping off the girl from the first video, they're going to put that camel to work because they didn't bring it all the way here just for fun. I mean, you got to get your mileage out of that camel. And then once they put hoof the ass on her, then they're going to be able, then you're right. It is probably going to get a little spicy. Ooh.
Allowed to ask you to leave, and it's also when the Minneapolis Police Department is allowed to enforce trespassing ordinance at this address.
It's not a red flag to you that he's being asked to leave a business about making inquiries, especially the child daycare centers. Like I said, y'all, ain't no children here in the middle of the day. You're either trafficking children or you're trafficking dollars. And you know what? Somebody agreed.
Oh, do me a favor, like and subscribe to the video, like the channel. I appreciate you guys being here, even the assholes, because I've obviously am an asshole as well. You have jokes. I have more jokes. So I sit here and I talk shit. So I need people to talk shit. That's why I don't block anybody. I love criticism. I like people, making fun of me or taking shots at me. I appreciate it. It makes for interesting conversation. So please come one, come all. Pause. Hey, yo. Okay. Not like that. But yeah, like and subscribe, like the channel, subscribe to the channel, like the video, help me push this into the algorithm. Apparently that's what everybody says. I'm just repeating it, and I guess that's how it works. I hope that's how it works. So, and honestly, bro, my subscribers have been increasing tremendously. But then again, I do a lot of content. Once upon a time, I would make videos, and it'll say the counter would just say 0 like the whole time. Now it's hundreds or it's thousands of people, depending on the subject. So the fact that people are tuning in and coming back and I'm getting the analytics, I really do appreciate the support. I am building a media company. I will be doing multiple shows. I'm going to be relocating to a bigger studio and I will be bringing on guests. I will bring a variety show since Timcast has turned full Israel. And these other people are, because what they did to themselves back in 2021 will be passing away soon. There's going to be a big opening for content creators who do news and bring media and content. So I will be here to fill those gaps. Pause. But I'm going to do news and et cetera and media just in general. A lot of our favorite people will be passing away soon. So I'm going to just step up and step in and try to entertain you guys in the interim. And but I'm just going to be doing the same thing I'm doing now, which is basically making jokes, talking about the news and pointing out funny things. Shout out to Brandon Jamal for the amazing content. His link to his channel will be in the description. Follow him. But, this has been a great episode. I'll be honest. I really do appreciate you guys tuning in. Oh, yeah. And then the feds are going to raid these fuckers. Check this out.
Y'all, ain't no children here in the middle of the day. You're either trafficking children or you're trafficking dollars. And you know what? Somebody agreed.
Yep. Yeah, the feds hit. So we started off with this video. This is a newbie but goodie. Sharia law will be applied to her.
We're going to welcome to the show now Republican Minnesota Speaker of the House, Lisa DeMuth.
So this woman right here will be getting her ass. She's probably getting her ass kicked as we speak because she did a Ron Burgundy from the Anchorman by accidentally reading something from the teleprompter, and she should have known not to read it, and she knew she had messed up. If she was a regular American, she'd have been like, okay, big deal. But because Sharia law is applied to her, she understands the severity of the sandals that will be put to her ass this very night. Take a listen.
If childcare is cut, I'm unable to work or go to school. I understand fraud is bad.
Oh, no. Don't look back. Those white liberals can't save you now, not from Muhammad. And then his name is probably Muhammad Ali. So not only are you going to get them sandals, but you're going to get them equal rights. You're going to get them equal lefts too. Oh, man. And then and it's not even domestic violence. It's Sharia law. There is no DV under Sharia law. It's just Sharia law. So, and this is what people voted for in New York under Mandami. So embrace it. And that's why she is like tripping out because she wasn't supposed to read that out loud. She was supposed to just pass over it. That's hilarious.
If childcare is cut, I'm unable to work or go to school. I understand fraud is bad.
Let her cook. Let her keep going. She said, oh my God. She knows what she did. And she knows Muhammad is at home right now, putting on his shorts. They wrapping his hands up. They putting the gloves on, putting the chin guard, mouthpiece. They spraying oil on him. You know, you get in the rain, they rub the oil on you. He's getting oiled up. Oh, he about to knock that turban clear across the fuck. He about to knock that hijab into next Thursday. She gonna wake up. It's gonna be 2028. Bro, Muhammad is about to whoop. He's about to whoop feet. Belt to ass, belt to feet, sandal to lip. Have you ever seen the combo of an open toe sandal to the lip? Do you know what that can do to somebody who accidentally reads the wrong words on the teleprompter and goes off script? Sandal to mouth is insanity, but it's earned. You know, you got to read. You're our designated English person. You gotta know the script. It's gotta be rough for her. It's rough, but she could have chose to be an American. She could have snuck out in the dead of night, took off her hijab, got on a bus, made it to Miami, went to some other city, got a job, and became an American, lived under American law. But no, she wants to scam. She wants to cover for scammers. She loves Muhammad. She loves Muhammad Ali. She knows that. And guess what? Now she a punching bag. Him and that camel over there stretching. Bro, they stretching the camel right now. They pulling the joints on the camel. They rubbing his hump. They got plans for her. You cannot do a blunder like this on a live interview. They can't afford to do it. They couldn't edit this. And she looked back at the white liberals and they're like, it's okay. And she's like, no, it's not. It's not okay. They're like, it's okay. She's like, no, it's fucked. I'm fucked. She's fucked. Yes, they're going to have to get out. Truly, I tell you, whatever you did for one of the least of these brothers and sisters of mine, you did for me. Yes, fraud is bad. I agree with her too. Do you live in California? I used to. I'm from California, but I'm a refugee in Texas now. I'm actually in Arizona at the moment, but I'll be back in Texas next week. I evacuated California during all the mayhem of the lockdown. I used to live in downtown LA. I grew up in LA, high school. I grew up in LA. But California went insane. Los Angeles is gone. So because my city's gone, I left. And of course, they're going to have all kind of crazy things going on. It's done. It's a free for all. There's no more law enforcement. It's chaos. It's not even organized chaos. So everything's falling apart. And the longer you wait to evacuate, the harder it's going to be to leave later. I've been making this point for people since 2020. But, they say a hard head will make a soft ass, or a soft camel hump in her instance, because what they are doing to the way they're prepping Joe Camel right now, waiting for her to get back to the house, it's going to be something. It's going to be rough. It's definitely going to be rough. You know what? Maybe it is because of the 64 Civil Rights Act that a lot of us immigrants are here. I think so. I think that's what opened the door for all of us to come here and basically just exploit the American system. It is an exploit. Is it an exploit but you know what it is? I used to think that, well, how do us immigrants know the system better than Americans? But it's not that. It's just that the people who are organizing the fraud, that are Americans also, that are working within the governments, they just don't trust Black Americans. They trust illegals. They trust immigrants because they know we're beholden to them, because they can make a phone call and get us deported if we act up. If you act up, they can't do anything to you, really. So they don't really trust you. They trust people they can control. So it's not like they're just giving money to random immigrants and illegals. No, they're giving money to illegals and randoms that are going to play ball. Black Americans, white Americans, just Americans. You guys are known for also not following through on your word, being inconsistent and untrustworthy. So if they're going to want you to vote for them and do fraud and all that, yeah, you might snitch. You're not going to be as loyal as one of these people, because they know if you snitch or do something, they're going to send you back to your home country. And once you get there, it's camel to ass and it's sandal to lip, but indefinitely. They're not going to stop. There's no civil rights group that's going to come save you and pull that sandal out of your ass. It's not happening. So that's the issue. They just don't trust Americans, which I can understand. Americans are untrustworthy because they're finicky with their vote. They can say, yeah, I'm going to vote for this guy. They get to the voting booth. They see one little article, or they see something they don't like on the guy's sweater, or how he wore a tan suit, or because the heels on his shoe was a little too high, and then they changed their vote. I'm not investing anything in anybody that fucking finicky or that shifty. But these illegals and these migrants are solid. That's why they're good criminals. That's why they're good fraudsters. Everybody stayed on point in that building. They all slammed the door. They said, no, white people, no. They knew the assignment. They understood it. Let me know if you agree, disagree, like the content, come back to the page, come back to the channel. I'll be back on live in about 20 minutes. I'm going to go eat a couple of tacos, drink some water, rehydrate, probably drink some tea because I was under the weather earlier. And then I'll be back on live shortly to entertain you guys some more. My son's out there for the Rose Bowl. Is he going to be okay? I'll be honest with you, it's 50-50. If he drives, he's probably going to get his car broken into. If he is robbed, there will be nobody coming to do a report. And nobody will be arrested. Anything that's stolen from your son in LA will be he's going to just take a loss. I used to live right by the Rose Bowl. I lived at the Orsini. So I lived right there where you're on the 110 and the 101 junction where you can go either to downtown LA or go to Pasadena. I used to live right there. And I never went into Pasadena. I just didn't really go over there. But the crime is getting worse because we don't have law enforcement anymore. Well, I mean, we have law enforcement, but they're just not allowed to enforce the laws against certain people. And the cops are starting to complain about that. Like, well, how's that fair? But it's the law of the land now. So yeah, you might want to tell your son in the future to learn to love other places in America. California is not the only place you can go. Texas is good. Depending on where you go in Arizona, you could be good. Tennessee, as long as you're not in Memphis, you're good. Florida, as long as you're not in Miami or Jacksonville or Fort Lauderdale, you're good. South Dakota is really nice. There are places. Just stay away from these Democrat hellholes. Anywhere on the West Coast, anywhere on the East Coast, anywhere where there's a really heavy Black American population, you want to avoid. It's going to be dangerous. And then there's no more law enforcement. So you got to be careful. And you got to pick where you go wisely. Phone call to 911. Stop. Yeah, they do. Brett Favre was scamming like crazy. No, he wasn't. He's nothing like these Somalians. And I mean, you guys are like trying to cherry pick because you want to justify crime. It's not that you're justifying crime. You're like, well, white people should commit crime. I want to commit crime. The fact that you aspire to be a criminal means you're trashed, right? You're trashed. The fact that you're trying to find excuses to justify being a criminal means you're the literal definition of the word trash. Your mother gave birth to a garbage bag. You didn't do anything to make her proud. You're only advocating for the right to get away with committing crime. You didn't say, well, Brett Favre should go to jail for committing crime. You said, well, Brett Favre did it. Why can't I? You are what's wrong. You're a disgrace to your family, by the way. Like and subscribe, share the video. Let me know if you agree or disagree. I'll be back on shortly. Remember, guys, America first, America only.
I've been needing to find a new apartment, which has not been easy with credit as bad as mine. Luckily, I found cosigning.com. They connected me with a cosigner who helped me get my dream apartment for me and my dog. I just paid a small fee and was able to move in fast. Get the cosigner you need for the apartment you want. Check out cosigning.com today.